Howdy guys, Jimmy Song here. I wanted to talk in this video about the strange relationship that Craig S. Wright has had with Bitcoin Cash, because obviously this is, something that's puzzled me for a very, very long time. Starting like back last August, when Craig S. Wright he went on and started supporting Bitcoin Cash, and a lot of the people on Bitcoin Cash started to embrace him. A lot of people actually started saying that I believe this guy Satoshi, despite zero evidence whatsoever that he's presented. It's all sort of him, just sort of tooting his own horn and saying I'm Satoshi, therefore you should follow me. A lot of people were sort of did a lot of mental gymnastics to convince themselves that Craig was Satoshi in the Bitcoin Cash community, which I found quite amusing, but also a bit alarming. These people will believe almost anything if they believe Craig is Satoshi. But then the tide started to turn. A lot of people in the Bitcoin Cash community started to isolate him, started to see what he was about. And even people like Roger Ver have at this point sort of, put an arm's distance between him and Satoshi, whereas before they were like partying together. I think my guess is Roger thought that Craig was actually Satoshi at one point in time. But eventually it's gotten to the point where they've had to sort of politically manipulate and say, okay, well, he's not really Satoshi. He's been fake the whole time, despite the fact that 12 months ago they were singing his praises. So, kind of this interesting dynamic that's happening with Craig and Bitcoin Cash, and obviously he still has like Calvin Ayre in his corner, and they apparently have a bunch of Chinese miners that are willing to back him and his Bitcoin Satoshi's vision stuff. It's this very strange relationship, and the speculation is that Craig will go ahead and attack a lot of the other chain, basically Bitcoin ABC or whatever you want to call it, or the Bitcoin Cash as perceived by RBTC or by Roger Ver and Jihan Wu and so on, and that will be very interesting. We'll see if he does attack. Then like there's all sorts of game theory scenarios that will maybe come to bear here. The thing about Bitcoin Cash right now is that it has roughly 8 or 9% of the Bitcoin hashing power. They both use double SHA-256. Neither of these camps has that much. Although certainly Bitmain, they can turn some of the hashing power that they have, especially with their new chips coming out and stuff like that, and possibly point them towards Bitcoin ABC as a way to give it more security. But this a fascinating thing, given what Craig S. Wright has represented for a long time. Sort of Bitcoin Cash sort of turning its face as they've seen him as the megalomaniac that he is. Not that Bitcoin Cash is lacking in megalomaniacs. There seem to be quite a few there. So we'll see exactly how this all turns out. But Craig has definitely found the niche there, and he has some followers, and he has a bunch of websites, some miners, and this is the brand that he's building around Bitcoin Satoshi's vision. It's very centralized around him. Bitcoin Cash, on the other hand, is very much centralized around Roger Ver, Bitcoin.com, and RBTC. So we'll see exactly, like when you have too many, I guess, people that are playing the Game of Thrones, like you might end up with a civil war with two centralized sides that are fighting against each other. That's not decentralization. That's just two centralized things, as opposed to the narrative that the Bitcoin Cash people are saying, oh, it's so decentralized because these people are fighting. No, they're fighting and organized for a reason. Yeah, they clearly have leaders. They clearly have central points of failure. They clearly, are like sort of going into battle to get against each other. So We'll see what happens, but I wanted to point this out as a part of my video. Hopefully that helps you. Let me know in the comments. This song is done.